So you had the great opportunity to speak in the UN. Tell me about it.
Sure. So it was an amazing opportunity. And it was pre-COVID, by the way, different life. I talked about an organization that I established with my co-founder, Daniel Ofek. It's called Parliament 51. It's a social impact venture that aims to achieve equal opportunities for women in the workplace. You can find a nice percentage of women at corporates, but when it comes to C-level, that's where the numbers go down. That's where we help corporates such as Dell. We also work with even Google and with other and Tabula and other corporates on which practical tools they can get in order to promote women. So how to make sure there is a payment equality, and how to make sure you have the right mentoring programs, and also about how to promote women to executive roles. So you need to have the right mindset, but also practical tools to do that, and that's how we help them to do that, and that's exactly what we spoke about in the UN.
So I'm very curious, and I know that we're supposed to talk about InsurTech and your journey within. I have Liri with me. She's the founder or co-founder? Founder and CEO of LeO. Now, before we'll go in that, and we'll talk also, we'll do the introduction and everything. I'm very curious. So, what are the tools to promote or actually develop women so they will reach the C-level?
Yeah. So, for example, how to promote and retain women, and how to recruit the right women, because sometimes, a woman or just a young girl will see an ad on LinkedIn, but she will not feel like it's the ad, it's towards her, or she will be a good fit for it. Also how to rewrite those ads, how to retain women when they go on maternity leave, how to encourage them to take more executive roles. So a lot of mentoring programs. So you have different ways to do that. And if the organization wants to be in charge of it, and it's like a KPIs and it's a goal for the organization, they can make it happen if they want.
Gotcha.
So we are here to help.
Fantastic. So now let me shift back to insurance. And Liri, please give us, couple of words about yourself, about LeO, which is your startup, and what you're doing in insurance.
Sure. So a little bit about myself. So LeO is my second startup. My first startup operates in the States. It's an online, offline gifting platform for corporates. Prior to that, I had a website in Israel that was one of the leading websites for consumers' recommendations. And before that, I was a journalist. So I covered also the startup scene in Israel. And actually, prior to that, I was a soldier in the intelligence field unit. And, in the age of 18, I was in charge of dozens of girls and boys in the desert. So it feels like, I already managed, and I was kind of a CEO of a small unit of a startup. So that's really the experience that you're getting in the army.
It's funny enough
So I
that,
did that.
yeah, it's funny enough that even now, which is like more than 20 years later, for me, yes, for you, it's like it was yesterday after all.
I don't want to say how
Yes.
much. Yes,
Again, it's like 2, 3 years ago.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we still sort of remember what that shaping moment, which was more than half of my age ago, right? By the way, where did you save? Because the desert is like 2/3 of Israel.
It's Elim. It's
Gotcha.
like
I'm sorry for you.
20
That's
minutes
fine.
from Beersheba. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really in the desert.
Yes, been there too
Uh,
many times. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Where were
sorry,
you?
I was in many places, but the last time I checked, I was so my last post was with 500, and then they use our tag to Balish. But long,
Okay. Yes,
different
we were
story.
neighbors.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I cut you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry, you were in the
Those are most
army.
of the conversations between Israelis, by the way,
This is how you record it.
when
It's
they
like
just get to know each other.
50 years
Yeah.
later. It's like, so I know you from somewhere. Did you work for X? No. Did you study in this uni? No. So where were you in the army? Yes. Okay. So we know from you're the brother of the neighbor of that other one that I served with, and he was 5 classes ahead of me. Doesn't matter. So you went through the regular route, you finished your service, you were a journalist, you wrote the tech column for, what was it, Haaretz, Achbar, one of them?
Yeah, it was the Haaretz group.
Gotcha.
So the Marker, Achbar, and other platforms.
By the way, Achbar translates into the mouse, the city mouse.
Yes.
But that's for the English speakers that listening to this podcast. So that was your debut to technology. You had your first startup, and now you're in your second startup. So, what made you interested in insurance and starting LeO? What is the problem that you came to solve? Because you had a few pivots on the way.
Yeah. So, in general, I think insurance is a very interesting industry. And if you see what happened in the last years in the banking industry, this is definitely something that we can see it now happening in insurance. And I wanted to be a part of it. I saw the huge potential there. And there's so much that you can innovate in insurance that I wanted to take part in that. So as an entrepreneur, when you see a problem or many problems, you want to fix it. So that's really what, that's how I got a decision that I want to focus in the insurance space. Of course, after I learned it and saw exactly what we can do using technology, using AI, in order to make this industry even better. And we are not trying, to replace the wheel. We are just trying to fix it. And there's a lot of things that you can do there. So basically, I just started with it because I wanted to buy a simple policy. I wanted to buy just homeowners insurance, and I worked with an agent. It was a great agent, but I saw the way he operates, and I saw how inefficient it is, and I saw that he's not using all of his data, and that's where I knew there is a lot that you can do in order to help him. And that's where we started. So we started in Israel. We worked here with insurance companies and also insurance agencies. And at some point, we knew that our market is the US market. So that's where we did the transition into English. But also, we started to learn the industry better. So we established a program called Ambassador Program. That's where we worked with different brokers and agents who are leading the industry in order to understand exactly the pains and how we can help them. We got access to their data, so we were really were able to analyze, and we had the tools to understand better what exactly we should develop in order to solve them a real pain. So that's how LeO started in the US.
So just I'm reeling it back a little bit. So LeO itself, it's a product that is aimed to help insurance agents and brokers to do what? Because I really love that car wheel analogy, not to change the wheel, but to fix it. Or actually, it sounds to me that if you're adding efficiencies, is to oil it and to make it a little bit better, maybe lighter, faster, and with all the nice brims that we like today, right? With chrome and stuff like that. So
yes,
what do you provide? So today, when you're working with agents and brokers, what is the efficiency that you provide them?
Yeah, so LeO basically it's an AI platform that automates the sales process for agents and brokers. If you look at the industry today, you will see that there's a lot of challenges for agents and brokers. On one hand, they have a lot of data. They have the policy data, the carrier's data, the client data, but they don't really have the AI tools in order to work with that data and in order to get insights and actions from that data. And this is what we are helping them to do. So LeO is a personal sales assistant that is focused in insurance, and it's like Siri for insurance. It's the first ever Siri for insurance. So you can download an app as an agent, and you can start to query using your voice or fingertips. And you can query about your client insight, about prospect insight, about market intelligence. And really the technology here is it's called NLQ, natural language querying, which means that you can use your own words and ask about your client's prospect and the market, and we structure it into a structured query, and we go to different databases to get you an answer in seconds.
So is that a new thing?
So it changed.
NLQ, is that a new term?
So it's a branch in AI. You can say that it's quite similar to NLP, natural language processing, but it's different because it's not like I will not get into it. It's we can talk about it for hours.
That's fine. You know, our focus here is to talk about the business use case and know the technology that drives it. I'm sure that there are other podcasts that will be more than happy to dive into the AI and the tech behind it.
That's what I thought, but I will be happy to elaborate on that, with any of your listeners. So yeah, it's a huge challenge that we are, working on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing to see that an agent can just use in his own language, and we can get him an answer on the spot. So they can use it while they are driving, while they are in a meeting with clients, sitting with their colleagues, just preparing to a meeting, and that's where they can get all the data instantly available for them, and it's all personalized for their needs, and also location based. So really, it changes the way they work, and it's helped them to become a better version of themselves.
How do you work with the AMS?
Mm-hmm. So that's a great question. So we didn't want, agencies and brokers to work hard in order to work with LeO, and that's why we worked with Vertafore in order to integrate with them. So we will be able to provide the agents the data that they need to the book of business, and we can integrate quickly with their database. And that was, one of the most important things for us, to have integration with Vertafore. So if you are an agency and you're using Vertafore, it will be very easy for you, like 5-minute onboarding process in order to work with us. All you need to do is to add LeO as another account on your AMS 360, for example, and that's where we will have full access to your data, and you can start to query.
Gotcha. Now, do you give them, let's call it, proactive notifications or things like that can help them with the sell, or they need to query the information?
So first of all, they can query whatever they want from anywhere they are. And by the way, it's not only Vertafore that we are connected with. We are also connected with third parties, such as Yellow Pages aggregators and Reuters and other databases. And that's where we can provide other layers of information. So, for example, personalized prospecting. That's where we can help you with potential clients that are similar to your current clients. So we will not give you, spam or long list of prospects. You will get only the ones that are similar to your current clients, and we have access to your current clients, so we can know who they are. And this is something that you can't get anywhere else. You get cross-sell opportunities. You get market trends. Another feature that soon we will release is really the news and financials intelligence. So you will get news about your clients. We are right now. You can get notifications, but it's more you being proactive. What do you need at the moment? How can we help you? So, exactly like Siri.
Yeah. Well, does Siri understand you? Because she doesn't understand me.
Oh, because of my accent?
Because of my accent, she doesn't understand me. I don't know about your accent.
Sometimes. It depends when.
So
if it's early in the morning or if it's late afternoon, it really depends when.
No, because
but she's nice to me.
She's nice to you? Well, at least that. For me, she's like, I don't get it. It's like, sorry. Oh, do you want me to call someone that you didn't want to call? Yeah, I'll do that. And usually that's my problem. But I just wondered. But anyway, on the same note.
Yeah, but it's important to say that, we can do the comparison with Siri, but really we are, insurance focused. So we understand the insurance language. And you can agree with me that if you will listen to a conversation between two agents, I'm not sure you will understand exactly what they are talking about, but maybe you will understand. But, my friends will not understand. But LeO will understand because this is our lingo. This is exactly what LeO was trained to understand. So, that's the beauty of it.
How did you find the transition to the US? Who's your main champion or let's call it big customer here?
So I can't really say the names of the customers, but I can tell you that one of them is, one of the top 10 insurance agency in the US. It's a great honor to work with him. Other than that, we are targeting now clients of Vertafore. So we have great clients and also the ambassador program. We have great agents and brokers that we are communicating with them on a daily basis. So that's amazing to get their feedback and we also analyzing the data all the time, and we can really see the feedback.
Can you give an example of a feedback? who they're looking to see, or is it a little bit, let's call it, confidential for future roadmap?
So I can tell you in general that when we see that the users are querying during the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing to see. That's that
That's a nice
means
signal.
that
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great signal for us. We see the usage. We see the variety of querying that they have, and we also they have an option to like it the querying and the answers of LeO or not, and they can also offer some new features. So it's very sticky, the product right now. So that's great.
As you, I would say, expand your operation here in the US, what else do you need? So you need more partners. I assume that you're in a certain stage with your capital in order to make sure that the operation is running. What else is on your map?
So we are actually recruiting right now. So salespeople from the industry. It can be agents that wanna, work in a startup environment, and LeO can be a great platform for that. We also want to work with people that worked previously in different softwares of insurance. So salespeople recruiting right now. Let me
Gotcha.
know.
You heard it here. If you're looking for a job as a salesperson in the insurance industry, or SaaS experience is not required but recommended, reach out to Liri. What's your email? Liri
Exactly. At meetleo.com.
So I'm not sure if this episode will be before ATC or after ATC, most likely before ATC. Now, you're going to be a speaker at ATC, and as a result, well, you're attending. What is the topic that you're going to talk about there?
So data.
Of course, data. Yeah.
Of course, data. What else can I talk about?
Sales.
So
Yes.
yeah, the data in sales. Data is gold. Really, the data is your tool to reduce costs, to bring new business, to save on costs. So there's a lot to talk about, when I say data. But I will be a part of Broker Tech Ventures. So I will participate in their panel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
So sales data and the insights that you can derive from it. That's great. So let me ask you the question that I'm asking everyone at the end of the episode. Can you please provide us a recommendation of something that you picked up in the past 18 months? It can be a book, TV show, life hack, how to make sure that the kids are quiet, whatever you want.
Okay, so I will recommend on a book that I read. I don't have a lot of time to read books, unfortunately. But during flights and sometimes weekends, I try to. But one of them is really Shoe Dog.
Shoe Dog,
the book
yeah.
Shoe Dog. Did you read it?
I listened to it.
Did you read it?
I hardly read books, I admit, because when finally I have time, it will be, I don't know, working out, or as you mentioned, drive in LA, you drive a lot. So audiobooks, I've been a big audiobook person for wow, too many years. I wonder if I can still read from paper and not from the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And and that's the reason why I listen to your podcast, by the way.
Thank you very much. By the way, folks, there is a podcast as well. So not just the small clips on LinkedIn and YouTube, there is also the podcast. Yeah. Which is the audio of this video.
Highly recommended.
Thank you.
So Shoe Dog is a great biography about Phil Knight. He wrote it actually. So the founder of Nike, and he's one of the most interesting person I never knew I wanted to meet. And here you are, reading his story, and it's amazing. And you also get just a picture of how the fundraising network was in the 60s, which is so interesting. And the story behind Nike and the Japanese partners. So I don't want to, not too many spoilers here, but if you have a flight, or if you are, planning to go to the ITC, and you are going to Vegas, so I think that's a great book to take with you.
Or if you're stuck in traffic, more than enough, over a day or two you can finish that book, and it's really capturing and fascinating. And it's been a few years since I heard that, but amazing. Thank you, Liri. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks.